Hello, and thank you for watching this video. I'm Tim Walker. I'm the pastor of Staves United Methodist Church in Des Moines, Iowa. And I want to share some more thoughts with you about the coronavirus pandemic. And I've been watching the news lately, and I have been watching as the number of cases rises. I've been watching the death toll rise. I've heard about people who had started businesses, and now that a business has just evaporated and it's not going to be coming back. I've heard about hardworking people being laid off and they no longer have an income. One of the most one of the things that struck me the most is the food bank out in California. One morning before they ever opened, there were 6,000 cars lined up to get help with food. You know, young people are dying, older people are dying, and families are not able to be with their loved one while they're dying. And you might be asking yourself, where is God in all of this mess? I mean, these things are not fair. Why isn't God acting? Well, in order to answer that question, we first have to understand the nature of God. And the nature of God is the fact that God is not fair. Instead, God has chosen to be merciful. And you might say, now, wait a minute, Pastor. I can point to plenty of verses in the New Testament where it says that God is just. And that's true. The Bible does have a number of passages that says God is just. But what that means is that God is perfectly righteous. God is always perfectly moral. He doesn't do evil. He doesn't show favoritism. And it also means that God acts in a consistent manner. That's not the same thing as being fair. Fair means giving people what they deserve. Now, the easiest example to point to of God being unfair is with Jesus. I mean, was it fair that God sent his son, Jesus Christ, to die on a cross in our place, even though he had no sin? Was that fair? No, it wasn't. But it was merciful. And, if God were fair and he gave me everything I deserve, I would be in a world of hurt. I would be the most miserable, wretched person in the world. Now, given that God is not fair, instead, God has chosen to be merciful, that means that we're going to get things we don't deserve. And sometimes those things are going to be good, and sometimes those things are going to be bad. And right now, a lot of people are getting a lot of bad things that they don't deserve. And that's where God's mercy comes in. You know, don't waste your time asking or expecting God to be fair. That is not in his nature. Instead, we need to ask God to be merciful. You know, if you want to see God act and have this situation with the coronavirus pandemic turn around, start praying for God to be merciful. And don't try to tell God how to be merciful. You know, don't try to tell God how to do his job. Instead, just ask and let God decide how he is going to dispense with his mercy, because God understands mercy better than we do. And when you are praying for God's mercy, you can expect to see that mercy come swiftly and graciously. And sometimes you'll see it come miraculously. And I've had that experience myself where I'm in some situation. It's a hard, bad situation, and I say, God, please be merciful. And every time it comes swiftly and graciously, and sometimes it comes miraculously. And so understanding the true nature of God can be very comforting in this time where we're receiving things that we don't deserve. But the good news is that God's mercy is available to us even when we're in a bad situation that is our fault. I mean, you know, we make a bad decision or a series of bad decisions and we land in a troubled spot. You know, I have been there myself more times than I would care to admit. But the good news is that even when you're in a bad situation that is a result of your bad choices, God's mercy is still available. You can call out to God and ask him to be merciful, and that mercy again will come swiftly and graciously and sometimes miraculously. Now, that leads me to something that I wanted to announce. I'm going to be starting a new sermon series. It's entitled Asking the Tough Questions. Tough questions like, why do innocent people suffer? Why do evil people seem to succeed? Why do some prayers go unanswered? And I've just started the research process in this, so it won't be coming this Sunday, but I'm anticipating the first sermon in the series is going to be on April 26th. You can listen to those sermons at our website, staveschurch.com. And I want to ask our members to do two things. First of all, I want to ask you to start praying for God's mercy, whether it's for yourself or someone else or for the world. Start praying and asking for God to pour out his mercy into this situation. You know, Staves is a loving church. We're a generous church, but we're also a praying church. You take prayer very seriously. And you know, month after month, it seems like you know, every month or so, I should say, somebody will come up to me and share some story about some miraculous answer to prayer that we've been praying for. And you know, we've seen miraculous healings, we've seen miraculous intervention of all kinds, and so Staves, your strength, your job in this situation is to start praying for God's mercy. The second thing I want to ask you to do is I want you to start inviting your friends, your neighbors, whoever. I want you to start inviting people to check out our website, to go to staveschurch.com and check the website out. Maybe listen to a sermon. Maybe, you know, these videos are on our website. And that's a very easy, non-threatening way to invite someone to find out more about us. And so I want to ask you to start doing that as well. And I also want to say thank you to the members of Staves. I know that you have been praying for me. Many people have been sending me cards and emails and phone messages saying that you're praying for me and you're praying for Nancy. And, you know, my wife, Nancy, is a nurse. She works in a hospital setting and a very high risk setting to contract coronavirus. And I know that you guys are praying for her as well. You've told me that. And so far, she has stayed perfectly healthy. And I know that if Nancy contracts the coronavirus, I'm going to contract it as well. And so I want to say thank you for your prayers of protection that you have been uh, giving on my behalf. So thank you for watching this video. God bless you, and we'll talk soon.